In this video, I show you how to make this and then reveal something very personal about myself. I'm transgender. I don't like long intros. These are floating frames. I'm using a photo that I took and it represents a new beginning. If you want to follow along with the plans, they're in the description too. Enjoy. This is Australian rosewood. My dad gave me this 30-year-old plank from his furniture making stock. So rare, you can't even buy it. And I haven't had the heart to tell him that I cut it up for picture frames yet. The wood is pretty straight, but I decided to joint one edge. That sheet of plyboard is clamped to the table and I'm just using it to get identical width pieces. This all left cut marks and they have to be cleaned up. Ideally you would use a drum sander here. I then put the project on hold because I want to make sure that the pictures are exactly 10 by 20 inches before I cut the frames. They arrived while I was at work and I opened them as soon as I got home. Talking about my day job, you might notice that I'm in my ladies' work uniform. I'm so grateful how smooth the transition at work went. Full acceptance and support. I felt zero negative vibes. Lucky I waited because they were slightly taller than the specified 20 inches and now I can cut the frames to suit. Where I work is a big organisation. 2,000 employees. I've worked there for 20 years and everyone knows me, so it was a pretty big deal to announce that I'm transgender. But I'm hoping in a couple of years I will have changed so much that they will forget the old me. The changes already have been pretty dramatic. The only record of me will be my old videos that I'm leaving up on this channel. These frames will have a 5mm gap between the inside of the frame and the edge of the picture. You don't need plans, but I will include them along with the original image files if you want to get your own printed. I know I'm going to cop a lot of negative comments here and probably lose a lot of subscribers because unlike Australia, the US and the UK have very strong views on transgender and that's where the majority of my subscribers are. But if you stick around, the channel will be the same, me and woodworking projects. I've only just started the transgender journey and because the local feedback is so positive, I feel positive I will transition successfully. I'm using 4mm hardwood braceboard for the back and a test piece here to get the groove the perfect width. This saw cuts beautifully if you dial it in. But just saying, if you feel like giving me hate, check out my SawStop unboxing experience video and add to that too. For some reason, that video absolutely triggers a ton of people. And I'm not sure why SourceType haven't asked me to take it down. Or even defended themselves. The dry fit before the point of no return. Apply that glue, and if it does not fit, the project's ruined. Using that as an analogy, going through the legal process of changing my name, for me, was a point of no return. Not in my wildest dreams would I want to reverse it, but it would sure be a headache. My new name is Meg, and that's not shortened from something like Megan, just Meg. 25 years ago, when I was talking about transitioning, my mum said, I want you to have the name Meg because that was the name of my best friend in school. It's me now. The glue is set. How quickly a new name becomes part of your identity. Think about your name and who you are without it. People now see me and think Meg. The old name is, for all intents and purposes, dead. Not sure if you can see it. Apart from the wild hair, occasionally I'm starting to see the new me coming through. Though, because I see myself every day, I still mainly just see my old self, which is one of the reasons why I did the hair. All or nothing. This is the wood I'm using for the splines. Silky oak is the last thing you would use for a spline, but I want a dark wood that's softer than the Australian rosewood, and this is all or nothing. It needs to be thinned about 3mm and a bit loose, but I reckon it will work. Ideally, you would use multiple passes on a drum sounder to bring the spine down to a perfect width. That old planer takes relatively aggressive cuts. If you cut them at 45, there is less wastage. This cut is a little scary, a lot scary. A bit like deciding you're going to go through with being transgender. So many opportunities to fail or completely stuff up. But you either do it or you don't. This frame would be plenty strong enough without these splines, but I really, really want them. I have to have them. Here, a single slip up will ruin the whole frame and I'll have to start again. So really, in comparison, it's not as scary because with transgender, we're talking about lives and we only get one life. And I got through it. This is another risk and bordering on being lazy. I should have just used the hand plane to flush these, but sometimes if you see a shortcut, it's very tempting. With gender transition, there are no real shortcuts, just a lot of pain and hard work. You probably won't see the final result until, I don't know, maybe another 2 years. Stay tuned. really happy with that finish. No gaps and no machine marks. Because it's 3 pictures in a row, they have to be dead level and parallel. I'm going to hang them with a cleat. God, I thought one of those thin bits was going to fly off and hit me. This might be the safest saw in the whole entire universe for idiots like me, but I still always wear safety glasses. You probably could think of your own trans analogy for that one. I can't go down dark alleyways anymore, by myself perhaps. I was going to stain this black, or at least the inside of the frame black, but the wood is dark enough with boiled linseed oil, and that makes the colour pop. Going with that. I think that was a good choice since this is a rare wood and naturally so beautiful. I love the random darker and lighter bands of colour. Australian rosewood has no growth rings. So I wiped off the excess oil, and the next day I'm going to finish it with shellac all over. There is a mixing formula for these flakes, but I just wing it. You can't muck this finish up. Three coats of shellac. It dries really quick, and as soon as I finish the first coat, I can do the second and then the third. I ordered the photos mounted on this foam board, but didn't expect them to supply the mounting hardware, which is good, I guess, if you want to mount them straight on the wall. I will link the original high-res photos and the photo lab that prints these if you want to make your own project. I haven't been bothered to make a fence set up for my drill press yet, but this vise is doing a treat for this little job. This time I'm trying something different when I mount these cleats. Just one mounting screw. That's Liquid Nails construction adhesive. And that's me, back from the hairdresser. I figured now that you know, there's no point in getting changed to try and hide it. It's pretty faint, but there's a mark outline on the wall. You can just see it. And that loose screw hole in the cleat gives me a little wriggle room to make it perfectly level. The screw is mainly just holding it until the glue cures. Also, I figure the Velcro will be more than strong enough, and as a bonus, if we get sick of these pictures, I'll just print some more and they can be swapped out. There's a little gap all the way around, and that's what makes it a floating picture frame. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. It looks like I bought one. No leveling required, and the pictures can be slid further apart or right together and still stay straight. I took this photo of Majimba Island back in 2018, also known as Old Woman Island, because a solitary old woman used to live on it. The way I see it is we only live once, and I would prefer to end up a old woman and do not want to end up an old man. Not happening. Simple. Click down here for the latest video on my channel. Over here if you want to bookmark me. Perhaps you're interested in my projects or just curious to see how I handle being transgender as a creator. Okay, bye.